Welcome to Juggling Interviews. This episode is brought to you by eJuggle, the IJ's official online publication, where you can find the latest juggling news, articles, videos, and podcasts, just like this one. If you want to check that out, you can head over to their website at juggle.org/ejuggle, or with the link in the description. This episode is also sponsored by Play Juggling. On their website, you can find high-quality props like balls, clubs, rings, diablos, poise, fire equipments, flower sticks, glow props, and tons more. Head over to playjuggling.com and use my code XavJuggles, XavJuggles10, to get 10% off your next purchase. It's a great way to support me, so thank you a lot, Play Juggling. Now let's get to the episode. Hello guys, welcome back to Juggling Interviews. Today I'm with Zak McAllister.
Hello, it's me, Zak McAllister. Oh my gosh.
Are you the real Zak? Is that you?
I am actually the real Zak. That's actually really controversial, but yes, I am the real Zak.
There's no CGI? No, nothing?
No CGI.
So Zak, who are you? Who is Zak McAllister?
Wow, who am I? Well, I am Zak McAllister. I've been juggling for about 15 years, and I graduated from Circadian School of Contemporary Circus, which is a 3-year circus program. And I really like juggling. And yeah, I guess another thing that I've done is I won teams and individuals in the IJ championships back in 2019. So that's a pretty cool accomplishment from my recent juggling. But yeah, right now I just make videos and content for the community, similar to what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm back with the podcast. A lot of content going on. Oh, so cool. So tell me, how did you discover juggling? What's the story behind that?
I learned in 5th grade. We had a PE teacher who taught us how to juggle. Most people could do it. I couldn't really pick it up at the beginning, and so I was kind of frustrated. And I asked my dad, because my mom told me that he knew how to juggle. So I was like, oh great, I'll ask my dad. And then I was like, hey Dad, how do you juggle? And he taught me 3 balls. And for like a year, I just practiced 3 balls. I learned it maybe in like a month, but I just kept going. And I don't know, I just juggled while watching TV and stuff. And it wasn't until maybe a year later that I saw La Nuba, which is a Cirque du Soleil show that has Anthony Gatto in it. And that was the first juggler I ever saw on stage, or just in general. And I remember seeing that and thinking, wow, I should really look into this more. Because if this is just some random guy that I found at the circus, I can't wait to see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, right. It's always been a question I've been asking to a guest. Like, what was your first inspiration? Like, what was the first like juggling video or content or show you ever saw that like proved you there's more than 3 balls? And you started pretty off strong. You started with Anthony Gatto. That was like your first motivation.
Yeah. Because I saw him live. I didn't know he was a big deal, but when I saw him, I tried to find him online, and it was really hard to find his name at first, because if you go on the website, he's just labeled as juggler. And they didn't like put his name or anything. I'm like, okay, this is kind of frustrating to deal with. But when I found his name, I found the video of his Kuza act, which is online, that has like a couple million views now. And so, yeah, I used to watch that video like religiously. I would watch it like nonstop while juggling, and I never watched tutorials. I just tried to replicate everything I saw him do. And some of it would work and some of it would not work. But yeah, I back then Anthony Gatto was like, there's no point in watching anyone else, because he's obviously the best. So there's nothing else I can get from any other juggler. But like, yeah.
What did you try from Anthony Gatto? Like, you step up from 3 balls to what? Like, what did you see from Anthony Gatto that was like, oh yeah, this is accessible?
Yeah, I started with, well, I learned 5 balls from some website called kingscascade.com, which doesn't exist anymore. But there's definitely people who would probably know what it is. But it's just a website full of a bunch of ball juggling tutorials. And I learned Mills Mess and the 5-ball cascade from it. And then from that point, I started practicing half shower because Anthony Gatto does half shower for a little bit in his routines. And like there's like behind the back throws. So I was like, okay, I can do behind the backs. And occasionally I would look up the tutorial, but usually I was just trying to do exactly what I saw him do. And it usually didn't go well. Like I would have, like if I saw him doing 7 balls, I would try and do the same thing, but with 5. But yeah. And I also didn't really have any juggling balls back then, so I mainly used tennis balls.
Oh yeah, same. Oh, that's a pain. Every collision, you're done. You're just done.
Yeah.
And like, did you ever like taught your dad more tricks since he's the one that showed you like 3-ball cascade? Did you show him like how to do more?
I've tried to show him 4. Like he's been to just as many juggling festivals as me because he took me to most of them growing up. He doesn't really have an interest, but I think he can do 4 now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like he's not interested because he's like, well, now you do that. Yeah, I don't need to do that.
No, I'm not the coach anymore.
Yeah.
So he's like been to festival with you.
Yeah, he took me to my first festival, which was almost exactly 10 years ago. It was in Austin, Texas. It was in 2013.
Whoa.
So I've been going to festivals for like 10 years. I don't know if I could count exactly how many I've been to. It's got to have been like maybe like around 50. It's been a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I've been to like my first this year, like 2 months ago, January, and I saw you. Haha, it's fun stuff.
Yeah. The first festival is like the weirdest one.
Yeah, it was like kind of uncanny. Like I didn't know anyone. Then no, actually it was fun. Like I heard from people online that the first festival is like when you discover how weird jugglers are, but like weird in a good way, because they're all in the same like hobby and the weird juggling stuff and object props, flow, all the fun stuff that no one does. Like they're all in the same room at the same time and having fun together. Actually, that was fun. And like I started juggling like 3 years ago, and that was my first festival. When was yours? Like how long was like the point since you started to like your first?
So I started when I was 10 years old, and I think I went to my first festival when I was like 15. So yeah, I think I started in 2008, which is around the same time that West Peden was doing like 6 club back crosses already. So like it's like for time frame, like I feel like West Peden had already existed for long enough to be like making all these crazy videos. I don't know. I think that's like wild to me.
Were you making like a lot of content and juggling videos and edits when you started out?
Not when I started out. I made skateboarding edit reels because I did skateboarding, but I wasn't very good at it. But I would just like play audio in reverse and like play the video in reverse and have myself like rolling backwards up a hill or something. But it wasn't until I went to my first festival that I decided to make a YouTube account, and then from there I started making videos in the YouTube editor, the built-in one that you can use on their website. But before that, no, not really.
Like your first intention wasn't like showing off your juggling, it was just trying out, then see if it works.
Yeah, basically. I figured if I could like post stuff online that I could meet more people in juggling, because it seemed like that's what people were doing. Like YouTube juggling used to be a lot bigger than I think it is now, but now more people are on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's like it also evolved. Like people used to watch the longer videos and a whole like 10-minute video on YouTube. Now people like short content and like fast entertainment. So I think that's also applying to juggling in a way. Say whatever you want. It's like kind of the trend at the moment.
Yeah.
So juggling has to fit it. Has to fit it as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a thing, and it's easier to make videos that are short.
Mm.
Just like make one video instead of cutting a thing together. But I think one thing we miss out from not making those longer videos is like I feel like I get more of the character of like it almost feels like performance or something. It was like
Yeah.
this was a work of art. Like this this one video showed all of Mike Moore's box variations,
Mm-hmm.
and you could watch all of them in one video. Instead of like now, you could like go through someone's Instagram and you have to find all of the different clips,
Right. Yeah.
instead of like just having them all right there for you in one video.
And
That's
also,
why, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
also, I think there's like less impactful videos now. It's like it's literally just clips. Unless you have like the world best juggling trick of all time in Instagram, it won't like be as impactful for people as like an O from Ofexneer or name it,
yeah,
whatever, like ice cream from West. Like people know those are like big impactful videos that change juggling. I don't think people remember like Instagram clips from that juggler like 3 years ago.
yeah. Even if they were good,
Yeah,
even if
right.
they were like good tricks, it's still very easy to forget things
Hmm.
that happened. Like I don't know.
It's kind of sad though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although I like the way Delaney does it
right.
because every post that she makes is like a world record.
Hmm.
So I know every single post on there is going to be good.
And also, like, she's not posting like twice a week, so
Yeah.
it's like an event. Like those comments like, "Oh, wake up!" That dude posted like,
You know.
"Mom, wake up." That's literally what happens with Delaney. Like everyone in juggling was like, "Wake up!" Delaney just posted. It's like
Yeah.
an event. Like, what does she do now? And also, I think like she has a similar pathway through her tricks. Like if you like Spencer did recently, I bet like if she put all her clips in one video, like it would still make sense. Like I think her whole like Instagram clips at the moment are like fitting each other.
Yeah.
They're almost like her trick of the month she did.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like all of those tricks belong in a video together.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's no like filler things on that Instagram account. It's all like the best things that she could possibly do. She doesn't share anything that she thinks is like not worth it anymore.
Right. Actually, that's interesting. I spoke about this for a bunch of jugglers, but do you have like that sort of like juggler syndrome where you like have some cool tricks but not like cool enough that it'll surprise people, so you restrain yourself from posting it?
Uh yeah, I would say so. I usually just record it and then forget about it. And then maybe someday I'll come back and I can make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, like I have a little like I have an old iPhone that is just full of all my tricks. And so I can like go back through and uh
Restudy them.
I don't know. Yeah, revisit and see what I could maybe do better. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe,
And
maybe with a new perspective.
mm-hmm. And you're known for like your performances, right? You have like a bunch of iconic shows that you build once in a while. Like tell me how do you do those? Like how do you find it's not just tricks, right? There's also like a whole artistic way of doing it. Like
Yeah,
how do you manage to pull like tricks and a whole like theme for the whole like sequence?
I mean, performing for me, like uh, going through circus school, there's a big push to do something like make an important statement with what you're doing. But really, what I want to do when I perform is show cool things, specifically juggling. So I mainly I don't know. It's like making like a vision board. It's like, all right, I think all of these kind of tricks would fit together in one show, and I can divide them into these things, like maybe like ball juggling tricks, like 3 through 5 ball juggling, and then maybe miscellaneous item tricks, and then disco balls or something, and then
Right.
just kind of organize it into a thing. Or are you talking about sequencing, like making a routine?
Yeah, I think like it still fits the theme. Like you have, let's say the wait, which one was it? Your IJA 2019, where you did it, the one with the bench and all of
Yeah.
that. I think you still had like a sort of trick sample, which you did with balls. Like it all like I don't know turns around the same concepts and stuff. Like how do you like handpick your tricks to put with that show? Like that's what I'm
Um,
curious.
well, that one in particular, I I made it specifically because it was a competition, and I wanted my coolest tricks all in one act. And then I put it to some chill music so I wouldn't psych myself out and get like too energetic on stage and drop a bunch. Um, but I don't know. I basically with that just made an act with all of my favorite tricks at the time that were feasible on stage that I wasn't gonna like drop a
Mm-hmm.
bunch. Um, so yeah, that was less about the performing, and that kind of like took a backseat to be me being like, I want to show all these juggling tricks in an act, uh, but like I'll make it look nice as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Like you could have like slower moments because it was like actually a competition. So if you put like slow and artistic moments, maybe it's like removing points for like the actual I don't know like the how hard the tricks are.
yeah. I mean, yeah. As long as you're like intentional with what you do, and they can tell that you're intending to do what you want, then usually they see it as positive. I think.
Right. So how do you go from festival and festivals and build shows? Like do you take inspiration from people you meet at festivals? Like what happens at festivals in your 50 in your 50 festival project?
Um, at my first festival, I met Wes Peden, but I didn't know who he was at the time, and I've never seen him ever again. But yeah, I just remember everyone like being obsessed with Anthony Gatto and thinking like, why else would I want to watch anyone else juggle? Um, and people were talking about Wes Peden, and I didn't know who that was. And so I actually asked a couple people. I was like, "Hey, do you know who Wes Peden is?" And I actually accidentally asked Wes Peden, "Hey, do you know who Wes Peden is?" And he was like, uh, "I forget how he said it, but he was like, this is him, this is me, or something." And I was like, "Oh." And then I walked away, kind of like, "Oh, I think I screwed up." And then I watched him juggle for a little bit, and I think I understood juggling a little bit more in that moment than I had in the last like few years, because the way he was juggling wasn't about trying to do the hardest tricks he possibly could. It
Mm-hmm.
was about trying to make like things that looked cool, and I really liked that. And that was like a big mindset change for me.
Yeah.
So that was a big moment because I bought Synthetic because he was selling it. It
Mm-hmm.
was a DVD, and I started watching that every single day while juggling. And I saw he used cup heads, which I didn't know was a Jay Gilligan thing. I thought it was a Wes Peden thing. So I actually cut my clubs into these weird cup head clubs to make so I could catch balls on it. And I don't know. I just kind of I took a lot of inspiration from that at that point. Like I got really inspired by the idea of like, oh, he's like creating things. Like he can
Right.
make tricks.
I think there was a whole like change before the 2000s and after when you can see like the whole artistic movement coming in. I think nowadays there's like a bunch of people that does like shows and actual acts which like are like danced with creativity. It's not just like performing your hardest tricks and just sticking them all together in one sequence or.
Yeah. I I really appreciate like traditional circus shows because they don't forget that spectacle is important and that you're supposed to do hard things. And some juggling acts I feel like just kind of throw away the part about that and make it more of a dance act, which is cool. Um, but I'm such a juggling junkie. Like I want to watch juggling. So when I see like a really good juggler doing something super experimental, um, then it's just kind of like I'm like, yeah, I mean, it was cool. I just wish I could see more juggling.
That's when you take like inspiration. You're like, oh, he did this. Now how can I bring it to my own style of juggling and like actually try to push it more?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, do you have like fun facts or like unusual stuff that happened, like funny stories? Just like that West Pedans thing. That was kind of that's kind of unusual.
Um, when I first got to Austin Juggle Fest in 2013, I was still juggling tennis balls, and I had learned like 7 balls with tennis balls, like an idiot. And so like everyone was like telling me like juggle bean bags, and like when I first tried them, it like blew my mind because they didn't roll away.
Hmm.
But I never even thought of that until I ended up showing up at this festival. Um, and another thing is before I went to juggling festivals, I would go to America's Got Talent auditions. So I never like got anywhere with it, but I didn't know that a festival full of jugglers existed, and this was basically the next best thing. So my mom would drive me to the big room where all of like the weird people were, and I would find like one poi spinner and like maybe one other juggler, and then I'd get to like hang out for like a couple hours. And I really enjoyed that. Uh, just getting to like hang out in a room full of like people who did weird things, but it
Hmm.
wasn't quite a juggling festival. So I went back for 3 times at America's Got Talent auditions, but I didn't really care about the performance and actually auditioning.
We're just like looking at the jugglers. I mean,
Yeah,
relatable. I see. I see priorities.
yeah.
How did you like bring like your own style of juggling into your tricks? Like, how did you discover your signature stuff?
Um, let's see. Well, a lot of juggling today is kind of like variations of lots of other jugglers from like the last 50 years. So I feel like I took a lot of inspiration from Jay Gilligan, Wes Peden. I took huge inspiration from Jay Gilligan. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's just it's kind of like a hodgepodge of like I really liked some of the juggling I saw Kyle Johnson do. So for a little while, I was like trying to be like a little mini Kyle Johnson. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I every time I see a new juggler who inspires me, it definitely like whether it's subliminally or not, like it like influences the way I think about juggling. So yeah, I don't know. Like I'll
Yeah.
watch Jonah Buffin at Greenhouse juggle, and the way he I might not be able to do the tricks he does, but the way he's juggling is influencing the way that I want to juggle because I'm like, wow, he's juggling so
Right.
nice. It's super nice to watch. So maybe I could juggle kind of like that. I don't know. How do I do that? Um,
Yeah, no, I
yeah.
see. I think that applies to like bunch of jugglers actually. Okay,
Mm.
interesting thing. What would be like? Let's say you go to a lost island, right? And you had to bring your DVD player, and you had only like 3 videos or acts or show you would bring. Which one would you pick? Like, what would be your top three?
Um, I think I'd bring 11 Shot by Tony Pezzo. I would bring Throwjoy by Wes Peden. And I would bring
tough
That's
one.
tough.
There's like so many good ones though.
Maybe like maybe no, that's boring. Uh,
No judging. Say whichever
well,
you
I
want.
mean, I maybe say to be the best three by the Anthony Gatto one, but like maybe that it's not like terribly boring, but like maybe that's like a weird pick. But maybe those three for like diverse types of juggling.
Right. And right now you're doing like multiple videos about like record progression and like tier lists and like a bunch of content we haven't seen on YouTube before. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty fun. Like what kind of inspiration did you take from that? Like what drove you to actually start posting more content?
It was mainly just because I wanted that kind of content and it never happened. So I was thinking, well, I guess I'll try and make it. But
Right.
it's hard. But I've been trying. Um, specifically, the world record progression is a blatant ripoff of Summoning Salt's world record progression for like speed running. I don't know if you know anything about speed running.
Yeah, video games. I'm looking at
It's like a
some
little,
videos. Yeah.
yeah, but he makes videos like that where it just tells the entire story of a world record. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that. So I tried to make that a few times. Um, and some of them I thought were better than others, but I thought it's a fun concept. I've also never seen list videos where people are like, five things that you didn't know, or like something like that. So I've been trying to make those as well because I don't know. That seems like a pretty obvious content thing that I just never see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's also the discography dives, which is me just watching through someone's entire YouTube channel. Um, and that's not like a very blatant ripoff of anything, but I just thought it would be fun
Mm-hmm.
to like give my own personal thoughts on like videos. Because it seems like most people they're on Instagram now, they don't even remember, like they weren't even here whenever YouTube videos were blowing up. So it's fun to like go back to those.
Right. Do you have like a a new wave of tricks you're doing right now? Are you inspired by something particularly at the moment? Something you've
I do.
barely tried?
I am. I just can't talk about it right now. But like you'll see it like later. But like I don't want to like give away too much. I
Then
like robots.
is that a hint?
Yeah. Things like robots that like do things. Those are really cool to me right now.
That that seems like something
Yeah.
something that's something.
Yeah, but I don't have to say anything else.
Right. On the other side, would you have like some sort of content you would like to do soon that you haven't done before? Maybe more
Yeah.
record progression, more tier list, more.
So the last couple days I've been working on a thing, or guess I should say the last like couple weeks. I've been working on like a list video type of format, but it's taking me a while because I need to like go back through all of my juggling history and find every video that I enjoyed from every single year and try and put them in like a top 10 list because I want to do a top 10 like top 10 favorite videos from 2012, top 10
Mhm.
favorite videos from 2017, uh or something like that. I mean, doing top 10 for each year, that'd be pretty fun. But just basically doing, I don't know, like putting my favorite videos uh, in like a top 10 because I normally don't make my videos like top 10. It's usually like 10.
Mhm.
I don't make it a competition. Like there's not a number one slot. It's just saying listing 10 things. But I feel like if it's my opinion and it's like videos that I enjoyed, then I can make a top 10.
Right.
So I probably would make like a top 10 videos from 2017 or whatever. But I still need to search more and make sure I'm not missing any videos because I can't remake the video once I already do it.
Right. And like
So
it's not like it's gonna be a something new. Like if there's a new video coming out, it's not like you'll have to put it in 2012. It's still there. You just
yeah,
have to like look through all the archives and the juggling,
I'm
the juggling
yeah. If
mountains. Go explore it.
it, yeah, if you go through I've just been going to different YouTube channels of jugglers and going through their liked videos. So like I went through all of Wes Peden's liked videos. I went through all of Harvard Fitzton's liked videos. I did the same with who else did I do? Michael Karras and a couple of other people. But I'm just going through people who I know I have similar taste with, and then trying to like go through all their stuff to see if I can find something. I'm like, oh yeah, of course that video. I totally forgot that video existed. But yeah, I don't want to miss anything.
Right. And you did something kind of recently. You did the juggling awards.
Mm,
How was that
yeah.
process? That's such a big event. Like that, I watched you all of it. It was pretty damn good. How did you do it? Like, how did you prepare such an event?
Um, well, I started the idea of working on it back in like 2019, um, which was like 3 years before. And then I think I heard that Taylor Glenn was potentially doing something like that. And so I just stopped doing it because I was like, oh, Taylor would do a much better job. And then Taylor kind of like dropped off uh, offline for like a while. And I was like, well, I mean, if nobody's doing it, maybe I'll try and do it. Um, but the goal was to make a like top 40 is such a fun thing for people. And people like to see themselves on a list. I thought it'd be fun to have another competitive thing, but for a different purpose.
Mm,
So like best video instead of like about the actual person. Try
right.
and separate the person from the video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, the process takes a very, very long time. And I always, the two times that I've done it, it's been at least 50 hours of just like nonsense work, like putting together forms for people to fill out, or like making little slides to put on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
or writing a script, and then also making the awards and then sending them out to people. Um, and sending things out is like my biggest problem because I really hate the post office. So, like, yeah, if you win a juggling award, it's going to take maybe 2 months
To get
to
to
get.
take, yeah.
that's that's just how it is for me personally. But yeah, I've gotten to learn a lot of new skills from it, so I'm not complaining. I think it's been a fun experience, and I think I got a lot better at it the second time.
Mm-hmm. I think it was pretty fun. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
and I think like you mentioned, like separating the artist from the craft. Like
Yeah,
this year and during 2022, a little bit in 2021, like the juggling news that was on the IJA did a lot of that. I think that was fun stuff. And oh, remind me his
yeah,
name. You know Geo. Remind
yeah.
me his name. Yeah, that also
TG juggling.
TG
Yeah,
juggling. I think those kind of videos like monthly was like a sort of a like pinpoint every month like what happened this month. Like maybe jugglers missed out some stuff
yeah,
because they don't go to like all Instagram, all YouTube. They're probably missing out on some stuff, but I think that's
yeah,
one way to get like motivation to jugglers, which are like kind of unseen. Like even myself, I was surprised that I was mentioned in one of the recent ones. But like I think just
yeah,
for every newcomers just being mentioned, like knowing their craft are being noticed, I think that's fun.
yeah. It's fun when it's a small. It's a pretty small community, but it's also like fairly big.
Hmm.
It's like a very nice size. So like if you wanted to, you could message like Harvard Fidston, and if he's not busy, then he might answer you.
Mhm.
It's not like messaging Justin Bieber. I mean, like,
Right.
Justin Bieber, I love what you did on that one song. You're never gonna get a response. But you could say that to like Wes, and maybe Wes Peden would respond.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, let's say you start football, like soccer. Like, you're not gonna message Ronaldo like, man, that match you did was so cool. Like, he won't he won't answer you. No, I think that's like a pretty cool duality for jugglers. That it's
Yeah,
like it's pretty big, but it's pretty like everyone know each other. It's pretty like a small family, but big.
still a big family,
It's kind of, I don't know. It's
but
kind of
like a big
medium
family but
family.
small.
It's a medium
Medium
family.
family. Okay,
It's a good medium family, good size.
really, it's like a very medium family.
Standard family. Let's call it that.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
what kind of project do you have in the future? Like, what should we expect from Zak McAllister in the upcoming year or months or days or minutes? What you gonna do now?
Um, I currently do a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of things in the works. Um, Particularly, I keep doing the stuff. I make a weekly Patreon video, which is just my regular part of my regular weekly thing. So I'm hoping to keep doing that. I'm going to be going to a wedding in a bit, like in like a few months, or like I guess like in a month. And then I'm also going to be like doing some cruise ship works and various other jobs. Um, so a lot of what I have planned that I can talk about is mainly just jobs, and trying to find out how to do both jobs and also do the things that I really want to do, which is like make videos and continue doing that. But it's important to me that I have a job at some point.
Right. Okay. If you have like 30 seconds to promote your Patreon, what would you say? Go.
I'd say like promote it if you want, but if if you have any second thoughts, like don't do it. I
Promote it.
I don't know what
Don't.
to say. I literally have nothing to say. You can join if you want, but also like I really appreciate people who just like view my videos and then press the like button. That's it. And if you're watching this right now, make sure to smash that like button. You really want to make sure you smash that like button. It's right down below. You won't believe. It actually does a really cool effect when you hit
And
that button.
and you know what? Guess what? It's actually free. So smash it
It's
right now.
actually
It's
free.
free. It's free.
Yeah, smash the button right now.
See, we're good content creators. That's how we do it. Let's go thumbnail time.
Yeah, yeah.
That will actually be the thumbnail. All
But
right.
yeah, I mean it's content. Like you if you're really into juggling and you want to hear me say things every week about like the juggling videos that come out, then I'd join it. But like also like if you don't have like the means to do that, then just like viewing my videos is super cool.
Right. It's just like a extra,
Yeah.
extra. Yeah, it's extra bonus.
Yeah.
Just some extra
It's just
help
a
for.
way for me to make a living and have more time to make videos because if I didn't have it, then I would definitely be on more cruise ships. Like, yeah, so that'd be a lot. But luckily, I've had been able to do this most of the time.
Right. So
But
actually that was fun. That was a nice conversation. I liked it.
yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
Right. So
Yeah,
I hope you guys like this juggling interviews. It's a comeback from my juggling podcast I used to on my channel. Now it's with the IJA. Oh, a big step up. Thank you, IJA, for hosting it, and thank you for Play Juggling for sponsoring too. So I'll just plug it real quick. If you want to get some nice quality, high quality equipment, there's the code XavJuggles and use it on Play Juggling and get 10% off your next purchase. It's a nice support for me, and I've been using Play props for 2 years, almost since I started. I step up from tennis balls to Play props. What a
Wow.
change! And leave a comment. Say who should be there. If we remove Zach, who you want to see there? Who will be the next guest? Yeah, tell me who do you want to be interviewed? Who would you like to see interviewed? All right, Zach. So people go. All right, everyone, go follow Zach on his Instagram. Here's the @ under his do this right under your picture. Do this. That's @ Zak McAllister on Instagram, and on YouTube you can search up Zak McAllister Pro Juggler. And also, if you want, there's mine, my Instagram XavJuggles, and on YouTube XavJuggles. Thank you a lot.
Yeah.
Bye bye. See you in the next episode.